does not fight for attention. It does not raise its voice. It does not chase. It waits, because it knows what most men have forgotten. True power is never loud. It is easy to mistake volume for value. Most do. They believe the loudest thoughts are the truest. They mistake anxiety for caution and hesitation for wisdom. And so they follow fear, not because they trust it, but because it is the only voice they can hear. The world has trained you to follow noise, to obey the shout, the signal, the siren. It has trained you to believe that anything quiet must be weak or unimportant. But hear this clearly. Your soul does not shout. It whispers. And it speaks only when you are still enough to hear it. Luther Burbank, one of the great creators of nature's marvels, was a man of this stillness. His genius did not erupt in crowded rooms or echo through constant conversation. He did not chase applause or require validation. No, Burbank worked in silence. He walked in solitude. And in that silence, he communed with a deeper power, an inner knowing that could not be bought, taught, or shaken. He spoke of how ideas would arrive not in thunder, but in gentle nudges of intuition. He trusted that voice, not the critics, not the market, not the experts. And through that quiet obedience, he gave the world miracles. And so must you. If you want to hear your destiny, you must first silence the fear. You must shut off the radio of public opinion. You must stop listening to the inner critic, the tired ghost of old failures, the echo of other men's regrets. You must create silence, not just outside you, but within you. This is not meditation for comfort. It is consecration for purpose. Close your eyes and ask yourself this. What is my soul asking of me that I have ignored because it was too quiet to compete with the noise? Now listen. Listen without demand, without expectation, without needing the answer in 5 seconds or less. Your inner voice does not obey deadlines. It responds only to devotion. The man you are becoming is not hiding. He is waiting. And he will not interrupt your distractions. He will not shout over your excuses. He will not barge into your routine. He waits for your decision to finally listen. Understand this. Most men never hear destiny, not because it was not given to them, but because they never got quiet enough to hear it speak. Do not be that man. Every morning before the world enters your ears, sit in stillness. Every evening before sleep takes your mind, return to that stillness. Ask nothing, demand nothing, just listen. You will begin to hear the whisper again, the one you knew as a boy before fear became your teacher. And when you hear it, do not doubt it, obey it. That is the voice of your calling, and it will never shout. It is the same voice that led Lincoln through nights of failure, the same voice that told Ford to move forward despite the laugh of doubters. The same voice that told Edison to try again when everything had failed. It is not a voice of logic nor of emotion. It is a voice of conviction. It is where your true self resides, waiting patiently for your full return. Speak now this affirmation aloud, slowly and with reverence. I obey the whisper, not the world. Let it root into your being. Let it become your response when fear raises its volume. Let it guide your actions when everyone else is screaming for you to quit, to pause, to turn back. The loud path leads to the crowd, but the quiet path, it leads to greatness. You were never meant to be ruled by noise. You were meant to command from within. There are no kings made in a single day. No empires rise because of one act of greatness. And no man ever walked in mastery without first repeating the motion of mastery long before the world believed it. Repetition, not explosion, is what creates the royal. It is not the flash of effort, but the rhythm of identity, declared and declared and declared again, that forges a life worth remembering. You do not become great once. You do not arrive at confidence once. You do not choose faith once. You choose it daily. You repeat it not because you forgot, but because the world will try to convince you otherwise. It will whisper, "You're not him." It will nudge, "You're not ready." And if you do not meet that suggestion with sacred repetition, it will win. But if you repeat who you are until there is no more argument, the world will surrender. Andrew Carnegie did not merely build with steel, he built within himself a higher man, a man whose thoughts were too fixed to be bent by circumstance. He rose, worked, and gave with the same inner statement, "This is who I am." His actions, his words, his decisions, all were repetitions of a single chosen identity. He repeated not his past, but his vision, until the present had no choice but to obey. This is the secret most overlook. They believe repetition is only for the weak, the unoriginal. They crave novelty. They crave the next idea, the next plan, the next method, and so they drift. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they refuse the royal law of identity repetition. The man who repeats his powerful self-image becomes that man. And what of you? Have you built the habit of declaring who you are, even when results say otherwise? Have you chosen your words and repeated them until your subconscious believes there is no other option? Have you made your daily declarations sacred? You must begin to speak your future until the present surrenders. You must rise in the morning and say aloud, not as motivation, but as identity law, "I am the man who executes. I am the man who no longer delays. I am the man whose thoughts create movement. I am the man who becomes royalty through repetition." And do not stop. Speak it in the shower, in the car, on your walk, before you eat, before you sleep. When you rise in the night and feel doubt knocking, respond with declaration. This is not empty ritual. This is installation. Every time you speak the truth of your becoming, you chisel away the false image that fear tried to sculpt in your youth. Every repetition is a revolt against mediocrity. And listen to this closely. Even if no one believes you yet, even if the world mocks your words, even if your voice trembles and the mirror laughs, repeat anyway. Because the world does not respond to who you were. It responds to who you decide to be consistently. When Ford imagined his factories, when Rockefeller charted his enterprises, when Edison envisioned the light long before it shone, do you think they waited for proof? Number. They became the result through ritual, through repetition. And that identity, repeated often enough, created the very outcome they envisioned. You must do the same. Write down the identity you wish to embody. Speak it aloud morning and night. Repeat it until your body adjusts, your mind aligns, and your environment reshapes itself around your voice. You will become royalty not by demand, but by declaration, not once, but daily. This is the throne. This is the crown. This is the only way the man you were born to be returns from exile. Now say, "I do not wait to feel it. I repeat it until I am it." Let that line become your sword. Let it defend you when doubt comes. Let it guide you when you feel small. Because you were not born to echo weakness. You were born to command identity. Repeat until it is so. Repeat until the throne appears beneath you. Repeat until the man you feared to imagine is the man staring back at you in the mirror. Royalty was never a gift. It is earned in repetition. If you do not rise and sleep with a definite chief aim in your heart, you are not living. You are wandering. The mind, like a ship, must be given a clear destination, or it will drift upon every wave of circumstance and suggestion. A man who does not carry his purpose at dawn and recite it again at dusk is not a master of his fate. He is a slave to randomness. This exercise is not optional. It is the foundation. It is the anchor of discipline. It is the starting point of all personal power. Here is what you must do. Every morning when you rise, before your feet touch the ground, write your definite chief aim, not in your thoughts, on paper. Write it with clarity, with decisiveness, with emotion. Then say it aloud. Speak it not as a wish, but as a command. Let your voice carry the conviction of a man who has already seen it fulfilled. Every night before you rest, return to that same sentence. Speak it again. Let your subconscious drink it in. This is not repetition for memory. It is repetition for installation. The mind obeys what it hears consistently. The body follows what the mind accepts. And the world, in time, yields to the man who walks aligned with one unwavering aim. Now you may ask, how do I write my definite chief aim? You do not write what sounds good. You do not write what pleases others. You write the truth that burns in your soul, the one thing that, if fulfilled, would make your life a masterpiece. It must be personal. It must be precise. It must stir you. Begin with the words, I am the man who, or my definite chief aim is, and declare in the present tense exactly what you are building. Let me give you examples. I am the man who builds a publishing company that reaches 1 million people with messages of purpose, discipline, and truth by the year 1900 and X. My definite chief aim is to accumulate a personal fortune of $500,000 through manufacturing in such a way that I may return the majority to education and public service. I am the man who commands my time, my habits, and my mind, so that I may become the strongest example of vision and power for my family. My aim is to become the trusted advisor to 10 of the most powerful businessmen in America through integrity, mastery, and service. These are not fantasies. These are declarations, and when repeated daily, they reshape the man speaking them. Place your written aim somewhere visible, on your mirror, in your wallet, beside your bed. It should interrupt your day with its authority. It should pull you forward in moments of weakness. It should burn in your mind more brightly than any distraction. And now, listen to me closely. This is not about dreaming. This is about programming. Your mind is already being programmed. If not by you, then by the world. If not with purpose, then with fear. The definite chief aim is your sword, it is your wall. It is the single idea that repels doubt, confusion, hesitation. If you miss a day, you've surrendered ground. If you delay writing it, you've invited drift. But if you do this with full heart, daily, unbroken, you will rise one morning no longer needing to believe, because you are the man who lives it. So begin tonight. Pick up the pen and declare your aim. Speak it until it moves your spirit. Repeat it until it shapes your world. There comes a moment in every man's journey when he no longer seeks to add something new to himself, but to reclaim what was buried. For too long, the listener has believed that he must become something else, chase something far, or accumulate traits he lacks. But now he must see. The man he was always meant to be was never lost, only silenced by fear. You were not born weak. You were taught to hesitate. You were not created to beg. You were trained to wait. And though the world may have praised your caution and admired your humility, those virtues became your prison the moment you allowed fear to wear the robe of reason. But today, in this moment, you must remember, you were always powerful, just obedient to the wrong master.